Greetings, Black family. Greetings. And thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Front Line Blacc News. I'm your host, Shane Croomer. Excuse me, not the Front Line Blacc News, Shabaka'S Blacc Experience in Hands. And on this, we should be joined with Shabaka here shortly, and maybe Lady Che, and a few others. And on this season 11, episode 7, Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced in conjunction with the Frontline Blacc News, we'll be discussing several topics. The first topic is Trump, aka the jump, as in human shit. And we want to make it perfectly clear. Is blowing up boats in the Pacific Ocean and off the coast of Venezuela. Racist cyclist spits on Blacc Delivery Driver and catches hands. Two big head SHILLS go to war. Hence, Stephen A. Smith and Joyless Reed. And then Ossie Davis' birthday is Thursday. He would have been 108. Here's some history. Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced is based on the 50th anniversary of the founding of the original Blacc Panther Party for self-defense. It started on Blogtalk Radio back in 2016 and have been around for 11 seasons now. Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced covers the Black experience from the beginning of time until 10 minutes ago. It is also part of the Frontline campaign that has recently, within the last 2 years, moved from Blogtalk Radio to Streamyard. Please make sure you like and share the broadcast family. Please join us on Streamyard, YouTube, Frontline Blacc News. The links to all of our channels are in the description, including Frontline Blacc News, Frontline Blacc News 2, Jesse Parrish, aka Chan Crewman, on my personal page, the RBA, the Revolutionary Agenda, Lady Che's channel, Jay Militant's channel, What's Cracking TV with Jay Militant, Cool Keezy's channel, which is just Cool Keezy, but Breeze Omega, who's live right now, his channel, Breeze Omega, the Church of Black Power, who was just live, and Black Truth United, our young brother out the Midwest, coming with the B1 Rolodex. His link is also in the description. We also have the description or the petition, rather, for reparations. Please sign that, the change.org petition. And we have to GoFundMe for Lady Che as well. Just make sure y'all get with that. Got Dynamite in the building.
Hey,
salute Dynamite, Black Power to you. I'm just going over the intro or waiting on Shabaka to get in here. We got the GoFundMe for Greg Marcel Dixon. Support that. We got Chicago family whose mom was attacked by students. And their GoFundMe is also in the description. Also, we have a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use. For criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. And I do not own the rights to the music. And if you don't understand racism and white supremacy, how it works, everything else you think you understand will only confuse you. An online areas of human activity or people activity, which is economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And some say health and nutrition, online 10 areas of human or people activity. And that was by Neely Fuller Jr., who transitioned this past February at the age of 95, producejustice.com. And when you're a Black person or captured by any race soldier, you must never fuss, fight, or flee, comply, and defend yourself in court. Also by Neely Fuller Jr., producejustice.com. And last but not least, we got racism, white supremacy. It's conscious and subconscious behavior to maintain white genetic survival, to prevent white genetic annihilation. And that's by great Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, who transitioned back in January of 2016 at the age of 80. And our good brother Tariq Nasheed paid for her funeral, along with several others. So those are the topics. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. What happened to Dynamite? Come back, Dynamite. I was finishing up with the intro. We're having a dynamite. Hopefully he comes back. All right. So on the season 11, we'll be discussing several topics. The first one is Trump blowing up boats in the Pacific Ocean. So I got a few clips lined up for that. We're waiting on Shabaka to get in here. Just two right here. All right, so the first one is it's on boat strikes in the Caribbean. Is this Dynamite or Shabaka? Greetings, Shabaka. Dynamite was just here. He left. I don't know what happened. Hopefully he comes back. But when he came on, I was doing the intro. And I told him I was doing it. So I don't know why he dropped off, but hopefully he comes back.
Getting off topic.
Yeah, I finished the whole intro.
The Trump administration.
Okay. Also, too, man, we got a major announcement to make that just came across my attention in the sports world.
In the Caribbean, the military.
Okay. The major announcement that came, is that WBC super middleweight champion Terrence Crawford has announced his retirement. He retired undefeated.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, he retired undefeated at the age of 37. All right, moving right along.
A year younger than me. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did right. He has nothing more to prove.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that update. All right, so we're going over the boat strike.
Oh, yeah.
So the latest on the strike in the Caribbean from ABC News.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so these boat strikes, are highly questionable. You know what I mean?
Now to the Trump administration's campaign against alleged drug boats and people, as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is set to meet with lawmakers about the strikes. Jay O'Brien is on Capitol Hill with more. Good morning, Jay.
Rebecca, good morning. Just hours before Secretaries Hegseth and Rubio are set to come here to Capitol Hill to answer lawmakers' questions about this mounting series of strikes on alleged drug boats. The Pentagon overnight seeing video showing it hit 3 more, leaving at least 8 people dead in Pacific, bringing the total number of these strikes since September on what the administration alleges are drug smuggling vessels to at least 25, at least 95 people killed here. But the Trump administration has never publicly released evidence that these vessels are smuggling drugs, and they have not publicly identified the people killed in these strikes. Lawmakers up here on Capitol Hill have a mounting series of questions at this hour, and there are growing bipartisan calls to release the classified video of a controversial September 2nd strike where the U.S., after destroying a boat in a follow-up strike, killed 2 survivors. The Pentagon has released clips of these various strikes, again, more than 24 since September, but they have never released the full unedited video of any, Michael.
Yeah. All right, Jay. Maybe that'll change at some point. We'll see. But thank you for bringing that to us.
So that's the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, you can think that something like that would be an act of war, you say. Question is, how would the United States feel if another country did that?
On 3 alleged.
Yeah, that would be a declaration of war.
Exactly.
If another country,
yeah. I say. So this is what's dangerous right here. About this guy. But RWS, this is what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? So hey.
I mean, what was the alternative about here? Letting the border some more with more illegal immigrants?
Okay, no, not let the illegal immigrants in, but I just want to see what evidence that Trump has for him to justify this shit.
I'm white and I say so. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, of course, all this shit is classified, you see. So which means is when you see unclassified up there, that there's just the shit that they're releasing to the public to make them look good. You see what I mean?
Well, remember he said he was going to release the video, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with the Epstein shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's going to backfire on the Democrats, so they might want to keep that hush hush, especially with the Clintons involved in madness.
Yeah, because there's a whole lot of people that could be highly compromised with that. So basically, they're not doing revealing the truth or being transparent. What them motherfuckers is doing, man, is damage control.
Yeah. All right, so the next clip is about the strikes in the Pacific. It killed 8 people.
Okay.
From Caucasian Nazi Network.
Okay. Decide to share this link on StreamYard or don't share it. I mean, not on StreamYard, YouTube.
Yes, share the YouTube.
Okay.
Already sent the link out to several people, so if they're available about doing this.
Okay. Yeah, this thing, decides to work. You know what I'm saying?
Let me put the link in this. Do you have the link or do you need the link?
No, I copied and pasted the link up in the taskbar. If there's the proper link.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Okay. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, the YouTube link.
Yeah, of course, man. We already live up here, season 11, episode 7.
Yeah.
Okay, then for some odd reason, we already up here.
Yeah. I told you it was going live. There's a link right there.
Okay. Okay. Let's see who we got here. Okay, we got Twin in the building. Twin Pyramid.
Yeah, we were live. About him.
Yeah, Mac 285.
And Dynamite was up here briefly, and then he hopped off. So hopefully he come back.
Okay. Okay.
I think Jay Dizzle's still live, but I told him to come over when he's done.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Trafficking boats. The U.S. military says killed during this entire military campaign by the president to at least 95 since it began in September. This also comes as the justification for these strikes is being put more and more in the spotlight and, quite frankly, under a microscope. CNN's Elena Treen is at the White House for us this morning with the latest here. Elena, the Secretary of lawmakers today. What are you hearing about this?
Yeah, this is going to be fascinating because all lawmakers, Kate, both in the House and Senate, are expected to have these closed-door classified briefings with Hegseth and Rubio today. So we're told the first brief is going to be with senators at 10 a.m., of course, on these ongoing military operations in the Pacific and the Caribbean. And then afterwards, they'll give a similar committee is expecting to have a briefing later this week with Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, I should say. He likes to go by Mitch. He's the one who had led.
And now we faded
that
out.
Operation back in September, that double tap strike on a boat traveling off the coast of Venezuela that ended up of access to a lot of these classified materials.
Okay.
And getting answers from people like Hegseth and Rubio who have been
Okay, it's fading in and out.
As Hill reporters chasing down these different lawmakers after these briefings. I know they'll be doing that. And specifically, I'm critical of many broader operations. The military and the Pentagon have not slowed down their three alleged trafficking boats in the Eastern Pacific. That now brings the total number of people who are expected to have been killed in these strikes to at least 95 people. Another thing is we also saw the president take a big move last night by declaring that, or classifying narcotics and fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, a huge move that is going to try and provide even more legal.
Because coming out of Colombia, it's not fentanyl where it's coming from anyway. So there's maybe a justification for a different problem. Elena, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
The U.S. military says 8 people are dead following a strike on 3 alleged drug trafficking boats in the Eastern, moving along known, quote, narco trafficking routes and were engaged in narco trafficking, a weapon of mass destruction.
We're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is what it is.
Joining me now in the group chat, Zolan Kano-Young, CNN political analyst and White House correspondent for the New York Times, Chuck Rocha, former senior advisor to the Bernie Sanders presidential campaigns, and his former under. So I was reading this executive order, a chemical weapon, a narcotic, and people have talked about how lethal fentanyl can be even to the touch. But it's also talking about the idea of like how you go after in terms of how the government operates, or is this kind of a rhetorical or political exercise?
You know, there's no doubt the devastating toll fentanyl has taken on this executive order and what the practical impact would be. Mm-hmm. The executive order is making a claim that this isn't just the root of a drug epidemic in the United States, but rather that it's been used as an actual weapon of war, a weapon of mass destruction.
I should say, to read one part, it says the potential for fentanyl to be weaponized for concentrated, large-scale terror attacks by adversaries is a serious threat to the United States. Is that a threat you've been hearing about?
Yeah, I think it is. Just, well, first of all, there's 2 things. If you have, like you said, a weapon of mass destruction, right? I mean, if the drug is horrible, I do think that there's ramifications of it being called that because of what they are probably will ask Congress for eventually. I mean, if you see what's
so this is paving the road to that. Because the last time we talked about weapons of mass destruction, we ended up in what is now called forever war. It's evidence of that. This is language that is familiar to the American people.
And let me be clear. Any American wants to keep drugs out of America. We want to keep drugs out of the hands of children, but there are protocols that you go through, and Congress is the one who, and there should be a War Powers Act that we've been currently going under a continued resolutions forever. Yesterday, Senator Ruben Gallego in Arizona brought this up because he's like, Congress are supposed to be the ones saying if and when we go to war, unless there's an imminent threat, which is what you saw yesterday in the executive order.
Let me push back on this for a second. The Defense Department report, they released a national security strategy just a few weeks ago. And what they wanted to do was elevate the fight on the war on drugs, right? Saying we can show you all of them all at once practically, to replace a failed law enforcement only strategy. So they know there's a way to do this through policing, but they're saying that has failed for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I think it's fair to see this in the vein of the administration trying to build justify actions in the Caribbean and in the Pacific that have its legality when you're talking about these strikes.
Seizure of the oil tanker was in some circles seen as an escalation as well, militarily.
That's right. To build the case as you continue these strikes or potential action against the land of Venezuela too, and any sort of action against Maduro that the president has mused about at this point. I do think it's worth saying, though, experts have said that fentanyl has only been used in a gas attack once in 2000. University also released a report. They study potential weapons of mass destruction to these kind of designations. They said this wouldn't be necessary for fentanyl as well. That it's more of a public health emergency or law enforcement.
So they aren't willing to call it a chemical weapon just yet.
Important, kind of going back on some of the things they've been criticizing the administration about, because they're actually giving classified information that us as Venezuela is not just about fentanyl, it's not just about the drugs. Let's remember it's also about Russia and Ukraine.
Why not say that? Why go through
Because
this
I think
thing
that's-
with
I
like
think-
overdose deaths?
Don't fit in a TV commercial.
The facts don't exactly back up the account that the administration has put out about Venezuela producing all of this fentanyl. Fentanyl comes from precursors from China that usually end up going to Europe when you talk to national defense officials. So also the account here that this is all about drugs, facts don't exactly back up that.
Interesting to see as this argument builds and builds, something like an executive order. Next, there'll be a statement, and we'll see at what point the war on drugs is just a war.
Well, what's going on now?
The House and Senate are expected to have
Very
all members.
sluggish. All right, what are your thoughts on the bombing of the boats, Shabaka, and then fentanyl being declared a weapon of mass destruction?
Okay, it's all propaganda. And what I mean by that is fentanyl, is dangerous. It is lethal. Okay. But Trump, he's not doing nothing on the economical situations, particularly in the Black community. He's mainly up there benefiting rich folks, Now, ask yourself this question, okay? Is Trump bombing these boats because he's not getting his cut? I mean, ask that question.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Yeah, you see, because I don't put nothing past Trump, you see. And it'd be very interesting, to see, the released Epstein files, but it's going to be censored heavily.
Yeah, they're not going to have that. They're not going to release that, Shabaka.
Yeah.
If they was going to release it, already did that already.
Yeah, exactly.
Pressure.
Yeah, you see. So,
So he fentanyl is a justification for bombing the ships. The boats.
Yeah, the ones where they're not giving him, his cut. You see what I mean? Whatnot.
He's trying to make it seem like he's valuing by bombing these boats that are supposedly smuggling in fentanyl.
Yeah, but he's not releasing any evidence to prove that these parties are guilty. And what type of intelligence data is he gathering to bomb these boats? They say all the water ain't clean on that, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it's still a developing situation, so we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All we know is he's trying to use that as justification.
Right.
Right, so I got another, and it's from CBS News, Texas.
Okay.
Briefings today on the Trump administration's military operations targeting alleged drug boats off the coast of Venezuela. Natalie Brand has details from the White House.
New video released by the military shows the latest strikes on 3 alleged drug boats in the Eastern Pacific. U.S. Southern Command says 8 narco-terrorists were killed in the operation. Since September, there have been more than 24 strikes off the coast of Venezuela, killing at least 95.
Drugs coming in by sea.
Monday, President Trump repeated a warning land strikes could be next.
We're going to start hitting them on land, which is a lot easier to do, frankly. But these are a direct military threat to the United States of America. They're trying to drug out our country.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are briefing all House and Senate members today amid the congressional campaign, with lawmakers questioning the legality of the strikes.
Their policies in the Caribbean are unclear. We don't know what the limits are. We don't know where they'll stop. We don't know what the ultimate goal is.
Despite congressional pushback, the president has signaled he's considering expanding the operation, and this week announced a new executive order to classify fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
No bomb does what this is doing.
Man,
200 to 300,000 people die every year.
Man, impeach his ass, man.
With enforcement crimes related to the drug. Experts say the majority of fentanyl that enters the U.S. is manufactured in Mexico, an ally. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The DEA says China is still a principal supplier of precursor chemicals used to produce.
We're not going to do that to China, because China would definitely see that as an act of war.
Yeah, exactly.
U.S. definitely don't want to go to war.
Right. Yeah. You see? So who knows what's really going on that one, man? Because it's too abstract. It's too ambiguous.
Yeah, they can't impeach him, Shabaka. They can't. Yeah.
Well, like I said, man,
the House and Senate are expected to have.
Well, I'm talking about the Congress. They don't have the votes needed to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm through voting. Because you would think that they would. But as you say, in a perfect world.
Yeah, the Democrats don't control nothing. So
exactly.
They don't have no power to do anything right now.
Right.
That's all they're going to keep stressing for the next year is, we need to get Trump out. We're not going to do nothing for you black people, though. But
yeah, exactly.
Trump needs to go. Okay, what y'all going to do for us? Nothing.
Exactly. In other words, they take us for granted.
Mm-hmm. They've been doing that for too long. And enough.
And it should be an insult to anybody's intelligence, man. Nobody wants to be taken for granted.
I got one more video, Shabaka.
Okay.
On this subject.
Okay.
Come on, computer. Let's see who started this down. Computer.
We have some breaking news to get to on this Tuesday as new video has Southern Command. Now, this is the latest that we know so far. The U.S. military saying on Monday that it attacked 3 boats accused of smuggling drugs in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, killing a total of 8 people, as scrutiny over the boat strikes is intensifying in Congress. The military said in a statement on social media that the strikes targeted, quote, designated terrorist organizations, killing 3 people in the first vessel, 2 in the second boat, and 3 in the third boat. It did not provide evidence of their alleged drug trafficking, but posted this video of a boat moving through water before exploding. This video accompanied the social media post that I do want to bring up on your screen at this time. Take a look again from U.S. Southern Command saying this. On December 15th, at the direction of Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Joint Task Force Southern Spear conducted lethal kinetic strikes on 3 vessels operated by designated terrorist organizations in international waters. Intelligence confirmed that the vessels were transiting along known narco trafficking routes in the Eastern Pacific and were engaged in narco trafficking. A total of 8 male narco terrorists were killed during these actions, 3 in the first vessel, 2 in the second, and 3 in the third. And then it does have that hashtag Operation Southern Spear. Let's take you back out to the video, though, continuing to showcase it here. President Trump is justifying the attacks as a necessary escalation to stem the flow of drugs into the United States and asserted the U.S. is engaged in an armed conflict with drug cartels. But the Trump administration is facing increasing scrutiny from lawmakers over the boat strike campaign, which has killed at least 95 people in 25 known strikes since early September, including a follow-up strike that killed 2 survivors clinging to the wreckage of a boat after the first hit. This latest boat strike comes on the edge of briefings on Capitol Hill for all members of Congress as questions mount over the Trump administration's military campaign. Secretary Hegseth, Secretary Marco Rubio, and other top national security officials are expected to provide closed-door briefings for lawmakers in the House and Senate. The campaign has ramped up pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro, who has been charged with narco-terrorism in the U.S. In a sharp escalation last week, U.S. forces seized a sanctioned oil tanker that the Trump administration has accused of smuggling illicit crude. Maduro has insisted the real purpose of the U.S. military operations is to force him from office. The U.S. military has built up its largest presence in the region in decades and launched a series of deadly strikes on alleged drug smuggling boats, in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean. President Trump says land attacks are coming soon, but has not offered any details on location. So we just want to make sure that we brought this to you again, the latest video released on social media by U.S. Southern Command. This is a strike that happened back on December 15th as another boat was hit by U.S. military accused of trying to smuggle drugs. We'll continue to follow any.
Okay, so it's like I said, Shabaka, he's using the justification of bombing these boats for fentanyl.
Yeah, but what evidence is he revealing to the public to justify this? Say, what evidence he got? I mean, rather if it's legitimate or fabricated.
I don't know, Shabaka. I don't know what evidence he has.
Yeah, and he's not saying that. You see what I mean?
He's just saying he's doing it because of fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
We got crew in the building. Salute, crew. All right, is that your final thoughts on this, Shabaka?
Yes, sir.
All right, so moving along, I forgot where this took place at, but a brother was sped on while he was making a delivery for Amazon, and he beat the brakes off. That's
as well as he should have.
So Dr. Boucher is going to give us an update on that.
Right now.
Oh yeah, shout out to Breeze Omega because he covered this on this channel too.
Oh, okay.
I'm calling right now. He spit on me and I beat his ass.
I don't think you are.
My name is David McDonald. I'm delivery driver. I'm here on West Hill and North Madison Street. I'm delivering. No. I'm talking. What? I'm recording for my safety.
You're not calling the police.
Because I'm recording and documenting. Why y'all not calling the police?
I was a phone on you.
Right. Sir, can you call the police? No? Okay, that's what I thought. Anybody want to call the police? Nobody. What's your name?
What's your job?
What's your name? What's
He doesn't have a job.
What's your name? How do you know?
I don't know.
He doesn't. How do you know? How do you know?
You are a professional.
He spit on me. I don't give a f- about this job. He spit on me.
Sit then.
I have so many other boys to make money. I don't give a f- about this job.
I guess
I care about my self-respect and identity. I beat your ass because you spit a bitch ass.
Why don't you get on your bike?
Yeah, and get the f- up out of here. Don't spit on me again. Watch what you do. You don't know who I am or what I got going on. Don't spit on me. No, f- all that. That's the utmost disrespect.
I know that's right, crew. I know that's right.
Right.
The brother has to explain to other he had a right to defend himself from an assault. Yes, to do that is considered unwanted physical contact, and it is an assault.
Mm-hmm.
He defends himself. He doesn't go overboard. Doesn't against him, which is what you should do to defend yourself. Then others come to defend the person who initiated the attack, rather than the person who's working, trying to be a dutiful employee, but as an assault happened to him. Put it up full mass. He says something very powerful, and this is something that Bernice King, Dr. King's daughter, talks about a lot at the King Center. It's called dignity.
Right.
Dignity. That some assaults aren't meant to necessarily
great
harm you physically.
You're right.
They're not meant to kill you. They're meant to take your dignity away. And thankfully, the courts and the law agree that even when the harm is done and it did not cause some type of open wound or a physical injury that you had to be hospitalized over, it is still an assault because it is a violation of your dignity, number one, and it is still unwanted physical contact, number two. And the way you achieved that, the way this person decided to achieve that against this brother was by spitting. Damn shame. All right, we got more background. An Amazon driver went viral for documenting a confrontation with an allegedly racist man who he claims spat in his face. The delivery driver, whose name is David, shared a video of the bloody cyclist and others walking in a neighborhood. In the clips,
crew.
Recall the situation that led to things getting physical. Quote, so I'm minding my business, making delivery at an intersection. The man you see all bloody in the video was riding his bike, traveling eastbound. I was trying to cross the street, traveling northbound.
Mm-hmm.
The delivery driver continued explaining that he had to inch out closer on the obstructed road to make sure he could continue safely.
Mm-hmm.
The cyclist considered the move too close for his comfort, leading him to become aggressive with the man. The cyclist proceeded to allegedly call the Amazon worker an idiot and the N-word, to which and the N-word, to which the driver responded by hoping he slipped and fell off his bike. Words are covered. You good so far, even though the words that were used against this black male were in fact derogatory and racist. He has the cyclist has free speech. As the driver continued to shift, however, the cyclist had more to say about the ordeal. So he continued. While the delivery driver made his next stop, the cyclist biked over to approach him. That's called aggressive approach.
Mm-hmm.
McDonald claimed the cyclist yelled and hurled out threats, despite his not wanting to keep up the exchange. After telling him to move away from his truck, so he can make the next delivery, the cyclist allegedly grabbed him and spat on him there.
Oh, hell no.
McDonald immediately got out of his truck to fight back for the disrespect. It resulted in this video documenting the bloodied man while an older couple who did not witness the original encounter questioned him. Unaware of what happened after the couple refused to listen to his side about what led to the fighting, McDonald walked away to the apologist of the man and his apparent racist actions. Quote, whatever, I bet God wouldn't have tolerated it. I don't give a F about none of that. He needs to have more self-respect and more self-control.
Yeah, that's what.
Keep condoning that racist BS. End quote. In the description, McDonald said his girlfriend overheard the entire ordeal on the phone. Those in the neighborhood also offered their doorbell footage to prove the brother's case because their doorbell footage caught the whole thing. Put it up. McDonald has launched a GoFundMe to make up for the lost wages as he recovers from the incident. He may have had some issues with his employment because of this, and he's raised $9,000 plus so far. Help him if you can. All right, Senator, you know, if something like that happened in my old neighborhood, which would have been senseless, if somebody in my neighborhood on Glenwood just spit on another human being, we would not be defending the person. That's silly. That's inconsiderate, obviously. And what's your goal? To disrespect this human being who's simply delivering packages. So that's bullying. Where I come from, we don't like bullies. Okay? This guy thought, obviously, he could bully this black male, and because he's on this route and maybe not wanting to have any issue, because he couldn't have thought that he can go to the toe guy. What say you?
I mean, obviously, Doc, he knew he couldn't go toe-to-toe with David. But you're absolutely right. Where I come from, too, people would have called the police. And the fact, let me just own this couple. They didn't see it from the beginning.
You're right, Chris.
They wasn't even decent enough to just call the police.
Right.
So that both men will have the opportunity to tell their side, but they automatically took the side of the white man. Par for the course, most often in the United States of America. Again, this proving of one's humanity. And David says something very profound, as you highlighted. My dignity was at stake here.
That's right.
Let me tell you something. Where I come from, if you spit on somebody, you better expect a consequence and a repercussion. Because that is one of the nastiest, disrespectful things that did to somebody. And the fact that this cyclist was following him. You know, you wanted, listen, my check. Your behind cannot cash. David was defending himself. And I'm glad he had the force of mind to turn his camera, his phone, so that it can record. And I hope that the other recordings from doorbells. But it's a shame that black people, more times than not, be proven wrong. This man was the cyclist, followed David on his route. Now, Amazon workers, they work incredibly hard for not enough wages. And Doc, I'm old enough to remember when Amazon workers were considered essential workers.
Yep.
Do you remember that? During COVID,
That's
they
right.
were essential, whether they were driving. You called him an idiot. Okay, fine. Maybe from your vantage point, he was. But then you got to throw the N-word in there that's telling us all that we need to know about you. Please, please, people, go to that GoFundMe page. Doc, we did a story about a white woman who was harassing a black boy. You remember that in the park? And she had, I believe, her child or somebody's child in her hand. And she did, I forgot how much, but more than $1,000.
Oh, yeah, it was a whole lot of money. It was, what, 700,000 at one point. It was close to, I think, $1 million at another point. And she bragged about how she got every penny, did a video update on it. So she got money for just being racist.
For being an anti-black racist.
That's right. That she got money for that.
There's no such thing as black racist.
The brother has 9,000 plus for being targeted racist.
it ain't no by a racist white supremacist, and that the other white supremacists in that community got on code and try to stick up for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then on top of that,
what are your thoughts, Shabaka?
Okay, my thoughts on that there, man. I would have beat that son of a bitch to a pulp, man.
This
straight up. Yeah, I would have beat his ass. Yeah. I would have beat his ass to a pulp, and then when they would have came and when they would have sent the race soldiers, hey man, I wasn't responsible for my actions. I'm pleading insanity.
So the brother set up a GoFundMe.
No
It looks like
bullshit, man. No bullshit, brother Che, because it's chess, not checkers.
Right. The brother set up a GoFundMe. It looks like he's raised $31,000 so far. So shout out to the brother.
Yeah.
It's a picture.
Yeah, and then sue Amazon for putting him in that position. You know, and if he's got 31 G's, man, he could take half of that and invest off into another business.
Yep. It says, hey, cousins, auntie, hey, everyone. My name is David McDonald. I'm the Amazon delivery driver who was spat on while on the clock. You probably seen the video that went viral. I was a little bit reluctant to post the video or even make one of these, but my brother encouraged me not to block my blessings, even if I'm uncomfortable. If you see this and aren't able to donate, please share the message and have the conversations that need to happen to prevent things like this from happening. My intention with this fund is to recoup the days I missed from my accident and from the days that I had to take off due to the incident that you're familiar with. In addition, without legalities I may face, I think I'm going to need a lawyer and I'm broke. 4 of my 5 kids' birthdays are in December, and both of the incidents that have been involved and have hurt my pockets drastically. I'm not sure what medical bills are going to look like or anything to that effect because my boss hasn't given me any direction on how they're going to take care of these things. Feels like I'm walking in the dark. Help me make sure my family is straight. Okay, brother. I'm definitely going to share out your link. So, Shabaka, you said you would plead insanity?
Yes, sir. That I will plead I'm not responsible for my actions because with all these DZs out here, you know what I'm saying? I looked at it as a assault with a deadly weapon, you know what I'm saying? And I can't help it. The man got his nose broken and his teeth are knocked out, you know what I'm saying? You know, because I was temporarily insane. You see?
Yeah, that's his real page. And I thought it was the page of the Cyclist at first because he had the picture of the Cyclist up and not his picture.
So that's his, so that's his real page. Okay. We probably need to reach out to the brother, man, and ask him to come on our platform and explain the situation.
Yeah, that would be dope. It looks like he's in a PNW.
He's in a what?
He's in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, okay. So that's on the West Coast. Okay.
He's in Jay Dizzle's area.
Okay, so let's get in touch with our man Jay and see if he can reach out to him, man. I very much would like to have the man on to explain it. You see what I mean? Yeah. And because, you know, the man said he has children, so he's out there providing for his family. Although, how should we say, the majority of WT America don't think that black men support their children or care about their children.
Even though studies show that we are the most involved in our children's lives than any other male of any race.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I mean?
Yeah, so we'll keep y'all updated on this. Hopefully the brother sues the hell out of Amazon and this damn Cyclist.
Exactly. And he could sue that Cyclist personally as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
If that Cyclist got a home or whatever, he need to sue him for that and put him out there on the streets in a cardboard box saying that he'll work for food.
Right. All right, so moving along, we got SHILLS versus SHILLS. Stephen A. Coon Smith and Joyless Reed. You know, the one that called us Russian bots and different Russian agents. They were at the war. So our brother Mad Black TV, otherwise known as the most dangerous and most toxic black man on the internet, is going to give us an update on that. Let me shut the screen.
What's going on with the world? Yesterday, seen a boy and girl. What? Who? You heard what I said? I wouldn't be caught dead without a boy.
What's good, everybody? It's your brother, Mad Black. The most dangerous told you not to get too caught up when these shills go to war with each other. But you did it anyway, and now they got you even more confused about the political spectrum. And I am Black up in your face again with some more pro-Black commentary. I know some of you are going to say I'm very ignorant for that intro, but I had to do it based on today's subject. So very recently, I have seen that the political commentator, Joy Reid, has decided to go in on Stephen A. Smith. And what Joy Reid basically said in her commentary about Stephen A. Smith is that he's a bootlick. You know, she basically let us all know that the sky is blue and water is wet. And, you know, she said the quiet part out loud and let us know that, you know, she thinks that Stephen A. Smith is just one of these bootlicking Negroes that gets out there and on mainstream media and TV and talks trash about Black people in order to give white people cover for their own bigotry, right? And, you know, when I saw her commentary, and I'll play, you know, her actual comments so that way you guys can hear it for yourselves. But when she gave her commentary and, you know, said what she said about Stephen A. Smith, I saw a lot of people out there, you know, kind of cheering her on and, you know, clapping their hands and being happy that she came out and said that. I did not. You know, while I will agree that what she said is actually true about Stephen A. Smith, she was 100% right about him.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that this type of commentary coming from Joy Reid is literally the pot calling the kettle black.
Exactly.
Right? Because Joy Reid is basically a shill and a mouthpiece for political ideologies. She just does it more for Democrats and liberals, right?
Mm-hmm.
She goes out of her way to dismiss any type of real criticism given about the Democratic Party or of liberal allies in general. She acts as a mouthpiece for a lot of their agendas, right? So when Black people bring up real grievances that they have with the Democratic Party, Joy Reid is one of the main people that would be out there dismissing that. Not only that, she would go out of her way to make it seem as if these grievances were people who were, you know, bots. She did the whole Russian bot thing. She also said, you know, we were agents of the Republicans or agents of MAGA or whatever. So she also plays into that whole left versus right nonsense You know, she's always passing the buck to MAGA and the right. If anything bad happens, it's their fault. And if anything good happens, that is due to the great leadership of the Democratic Party. Even though the liberals and Democrats kicked her to the curb and kicked her off of her job on MSNBC, right? So it's weird when you see this, and I always bring this up just to let you guys know and make you all aware that you have to be careful when it comes to, you know, these two controlled opposition types when they go back and forth with one another. Because basically what you're seeing is two avatars of two different political ideologies going to war with each other, but neither one has our best interests at heart. So you can't always get too caught up in it, right? Don't think that this political theater is anything that we need to take sides on, right? Because even though Joy Reid is right about Stephen A. Smith, what she said about him is not anything that we already did not know. Most people with sense know that Stephen A. Smith is a joke and he's a shill for white bigots out there. But let's listen to what she actually had to say. That way we can get a clear idea of her comments and no one's accusing me of making up what she said. So let's listen here. She was pretty clear in her commentary about how she feels about Stephen A. Smith. So let's listen.
It's not that high. They're paying you not for your numbers, my friend. They're paying you because you are willing to say the nasty things about Black people that they want to say. You're willing to take their denigration of Black women and put it in the mouth of a Negro. And because you're willing to put the denigration of Black women in particular into a Negro's mouth, you now think that, oh, I must be a freaking political genius. But just be clear, you're not being paid for your numbers. You're being paid for what you're willing to do to us for white people's entertainment.
Yeah, so that's basically what she said. And you know, like I said, she was pretty clear in her assessment of Stephen A. Smith. But once again, I don't really give her any brownie points because that's what have we all been about Stephen A. Smith. And there's something I wanted to bring up too about Stephen A. because I've noticed very recently, like because he's been coming out and being extremely Black female politicians like Jasmine Crockett, or he's been coming out against people like Michelle Obama. I've noticed that people have been kind of playing this whole gender war narrative and making it seem as if, you know, he's just attacking Black women, and also they try to anchor him to Black males. Like they're trying to say like, well, you know, I don't see how Black men could listen to Stephen A. Smith when he's attacking Black women this way, right? They make it seem as if Black men are fans of Stephen A. Smith, which is nonsense, okay? Black men are not fans of Stephen A. Smith. Stop with that whole gender war nonsense. In fact, Black men are the first victims of Stephen A. Smith. If you want to be real about it, Stephen A. Smith started out and made his bones attacking Black male athletes on these sports networks. That's his claim to fame. That's how he got any attention in the first place, is attacking us. For the longest time, a lot of Black men have hated his guts. A lot of Black men stopped watching him and don't support him. His biggest audience are white supremacist male bigots. That's what his longevity. Like, think about this. Think about all of the white male co-hosts that Stephen A. Smith has had over the years, and think about how all of them have come and gone, and think about how he's still around, right? The fact that this clown-ass buffoon, who really, if you listen to him, a lot of times, he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he has all this longevity because he is willing to be a bootlicking Negro for white supremacy. He's there to say all the racist things that white men want to say about these Black athletes, and he can get away with it, though, because he's Black himself, right? And he can wag his finger at the Black community whenever he gets ready, or whenever he feels like it, or whenever he feels that we're not doing what we're supposed to do, right? So he's that type of scumbag scumbag he always has been, and black men do not support him. So anyone trying to bring up this whole narrative, making it seem like, well, why do you black men support him? He's attacking black women. We stopped watching him a long time ago, black women, and most black women with sense know that. But once again, you'll have a lot of these shills out here on these like mammy websites and these gender war websites or these black liberal websites who keep pushing that narrative that Stephen A. Smith is only attacking black women and black men support that. That is not true at all. Okay. So that's the main crux of it. And once again, you got these two big four-headed shills going head to head, literally and figuratively at each other, right? And it's funny that they're both got these gigantic windshield wiper size foreheads, and they're going head to head against each other. That's almost very funny and ironic when you think about it. I just want you all to understand that you cannot take these people seriously. These are not people that are acting in good faith, right? Even when they critique each other, that is almost an act within itself. Like that's almost to get us concentrating on that and not really concentrating on what we truly should be concentrating on, and that is the policies of both parties and how they are no benefit to us whatsoever. We should still concentrate on making demands and asking for real tangible assets from these parties and not getting so tied up into these little fake phony social arguments or these two, big four-headed divas going at each other about, which slave master is the best. Because that's what you have here are two political slaves arguing with each other about which slave master is the best and whose plantation we should go work on. You folks let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. I would love to hear your opinions on this. Anyway, Mad Blacc, and I will be back with my foot on a devil's back.
Tether versus tether. That's what I gotta say. Tether versus tether, and like you said, they arguing over who's the best slave master, the Democrats or the Republicans.
Yeah, that boss we see shit.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Shabaka?
Just what I said, homie. I agree with everything that you said, and what it is, though, is this boss we sick shit, as opposed to pooling our resources, setting up our own mainstream media. You say, and the example of that is look at the economical power that we had flexed in 1955 by shutting down the Montgomery bus boycott. Except in this day and age, it would all have to be digitalized. Say, meaning that is going to require somebody with some knowledge, getting educated and not miseducated. You see what I mean? For this crap. See, people, the thing is, man, is this. The reason why they get away with a lot of this shit is because we allow it. Straight out, we allow it.
Well, these are tethers, Shabaka. We didn't allow it.
Tethers.
The white supremacists allowed it.
Oh, boy, tethers.
To these media spaces to try to speak for us. And they don't speak for us because they're fucking tethers. And they need to go back to their homeland and rebuild that and stay the hell out of business. But they use them as for us to force this bullshit ass gender divide and to force this bullshit agenda that both the parties are running.
And then Donald Duck, he's stating how he honestly feels, and I don't know if you know this, crew, but there's an old saying out of South Central Los Angeles, never apologize for how you honestly feel. They say, and dumpsters, the Vancites. Yeah, we got to think of a term for for Vance, because he's gonna be running up the Vancites. You know what I'm saying?
I get nowhere, Shabaka. It's gonna be the Trump Jr. or Eric Jr.
Yeah, you know what? That's who the hell it's gonna be, man. It's gonna be one of Dumpster's kids.
Yep.
Yeah, that's who it's gonna be. One of Dumpster's kids, and probably put Jared Kushner in there as the what do they call that? The one that runs the Treasury Department, Secretary of the Treasury.
Yeah,
because they control the Federal Reserve. You see what I'm saying? So he would put one of those hatchites of his running the Federal Reserve, Secretary of the Treasury, and damn sure running the Department of War. Okay. Because these Democrats ain't gonna do shit for us, man, in the midterm elections, okay? Like Jasmine Crockett shit.
We gotta get Trump out. Go out and vote. We gotta get him.
Yeah, vote for blue no matter who. Look at Kamala. Oh, I'm not gonna do nothing strictly for black people now. See, so already when OTBs see this, you know what they say to themselves, Brother Che?
Right where we want them, Shabaka.
Yeah, we still got these niggas running around in circles chasing their own tail like a deranged dog.
And Kamala Harris is another tether too.
Right. Banging their fucking heads against walls. Thinking we're supposed to do the same thing, expecting a different result.
And she's not black. And I still stand with Janet Jackson on that. She's not black.
Okay, so what did old Janet Jackson say?
Says she's not a black woman.
Okay.
She's an East Indian Brahmin.
Right. And you want to know something, man? Get this here, Brother Che. I had went to one of these stores where the motherfuckers was in there running it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's just like we said, they look at us as untouchables, right? I get a motherfucker my money, okay, from hand to hand, right?
Yeah.
You know what this motherfucker does with my change? He counts it out. He counts it out and puts it on the counter.
Which hand did you hand it to him on?
I handed it to him with my right hand.
Okay, then you use the right hand. Because if you did the left, then it's the left hand they wipe their ass with.
Damn.
It's the one that they clean.
Boy. And too bad, man, Dr. King didn't understand that, man, when he was enforcing Gandhi's principles. You see what I'm saying?
Well, we weren't traveling like that back then, Shabaka.
Yeah, that's true.
Which we would have understood back then, but we weren't traveling like that back then.
Yeah, and I don't think Dr. King ever traveled out of the U.S., man, like Malcolm did.
No.
Like Newton did.
Yeah.
I don't think Dr. King ever traveled outside the U.S.
Yeah, I don't think he did either.
Wait a minute. Where did they award the Nobel Peace Prize?
I think he traveled to London. Let me see.
Yeah, to get the Nobel Peace Prize, yeah.
Yeah.
And if so, that there would be the only time that I know of that he traveled out the country.
I'm trying to look it up.
Okay. And what's our next topic? Moving on with that, as you pull up the information.
Ossie Davis, Shabaka.
Oh yes, Ossie Davis. Okay. Ossie Davis was a forerunner of black cinema. Him and Ruby B. Okay. And they were also stage actors, as you know. Okay, and the first film I believe they made together was called Pearly Victorious. Okay, then I remember Ossie Davis did a TV movie, right, where he was the doctor, and I can't remember the name of the doctor, but he was stating about how much we hate our
way.
Huh?
To answer your question, so December 10th, 1964, MLK Jr. received the Nobel Peace Prize from the University of Oslo in Oslo,
Norway. Okay, so he traveled to Norway. Okay. Now those Norsemen and those Norwegians, from what I understand, is that Scandinavia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that there is like where the Mike Pence looking people come from. And Mike Pence looked like a Nazi SS officer to me.
Yeah, him and Stephen Miller.
Yeah. And then, but one thing you have to say about Pence, okay, that where Trump hated him vehemently is because he had told Pence to flip the votes after 2020, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Pence had called up Dan Quayle, I think, who was the vice president under Papa Bush, right? And Quayle told him, he said, man, you can't do it, man. You know, the law states that you got to do what you got to do on it. You know what I'm saying? So then Trump immediately turned on Mike Pence. I mean, immediately when he was sitting up there giving that bullshit speech on, what's that, the January 6th revolt, rebellion, riot, mayhem, what have
you. Yep, J6.
Yeah. Okay, but so Trump, you wasn't upholding a constitution that you swore to uphold. And I doubt it very seriously if you're doing it now.
Did he swear at all? What did he swear on?
Well, generally they swear on the Bible.
Generally, yeah, but he didn't swear on the Bible. What did he swear on?
Okay, so if he does not say I do solemnly swear, then he's got to say I do solemnly affirm. If I got it right, but you know, you would know more about it than me, you know, because of your legal background, political science background, what have you.
Yeah, I don't think he swore on the Bible, Shabaka. I'm trying to remember.
Well, if you could pull up his inaugural of 20, when did that bastard come up there the first time? 2016, yeah.
He swore on the Trump family Bible.
He swore on the, wait a minute. He swore on the Trump family Bible.
Yeah.
Now, it would be interesting, man, that if you can get some of these mugs as Bibles, man, from doing the slave trade, like Jefferson. Who was the president after Jefferson? Adams, I think.
And it says that notably during the actual swearing in, Trump did not place his hand on either Bible.
Wow.
Justice John Roberts began the oath while First Lady Melania Trump was still approaching with the Bibles, and Trump chose to keep his right hand raised with his left arm by his side while reciting the oath.
Okay. Now, I got a question. He's talking about getting rid of these foreigners, right? And illegal aliens and shit. So when is Melania Trump boarding a plane to get out of here?
That's what Jay Militant was saying.
Yeah. So when? Huh?
I would, in a perfect world, I would say any day now, but this is not
right.
that.
Right. So once again, people, this is hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So all you dumpsters out there, you know, hypocrisy is shitting on your head, telling you it's snow, pissing on your head, telling that it's rain, and you all still are going for this bullshit.
Well,
what did Trump say? Well, hold on, Brother Paris. Let's go back in history here. What did Trump say? He said that if he ever was to run for president, he would run as a Republican because these are the most dumbest, ignorant bunch of mugs going.
Yeah, he said that on the Oprah Winfrey show.
Yeah, and his selection twice proved that.
Mm-hmm. So the first time he swore on the family and Lincoln Bibles. So when he was inaugurated in 2017, he put his hand on both of those Bibles. But when he was inaugurated in 2025 this year, he did not swear on either Bible.
Now, the cold part about his inauguration, you remember where they said it was too cold to go in front of the U.S. Capitol, so they had to do it on the inside?
Yeah.
So when Biden and Kamala gave, what do they call that, departure speeches?
Yeah.
He put them both on the same helicopter to get them the hell up out of Dodge.
Yep. Yep.
That's unprecedented from what I knew, because when they switch out, yeah, the Air Force One is supposed to carry the outgoing president going home like they did, right? Air Force Two is supposed to carry the outgoing vice president back home, right?
Right.
And then from what I understand, then Secret Service takes over for there, where they will have lifetime security.
Yeah.
And then they fly both of those pieces of shit.
Dump ended that for Kamala.
Huh?
Remember, Dump ended that for Kamala.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do this for black people now.
Yeah,
the one
exactly.
that locked up black people for the most ridiculous stuff and kept them past
and kept them incarcerated as the Attorney General of California when they were supposed to have been getting out.
To fight.
So now you got false imprisonment.
To fight wildfires.
Yeah. Now that's involuntary servitude. Now, did they get some time knocked off, or did they just give them some extra rations for their food?
Probably gave them some extra rations for their food.
Yeah, man. And do you know how hard fighting a fire is, man?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, because over my travels, man, you know, them firefighters are built like heavyweight contenders. And I told one, I says, man, you built like a heavyweight contender. He says, well, man, we got to keep our strength up to fight the fire, because he says when we get off in there, we're in a life and death situation. So I says, for all practical purposes, you're in a combat zone. And he said, yeah. He said, yeah. I said, wow. You know?
Yeah, shout out to the firefighters.
Oh, yeah.
Except the ones that McLean. To hell with the ones that killed Elijah McClain. But shout out to the firefighters.
Yeah.
The version of paramedics and the police that killed Elijah McClain.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
All right, so moving along, so I can tell Ossie that I'm going to play the documentary, I believe, or the musical. Ossie Davis, Story of the Negro People from 1965.
And then, of course, his wife, Ruby Dee.
Yes.
And, of course, may they rest in pieces, because after both of them had died, they were cremated, and they had put their ashes in the same urn with the caption on there saying that we're in this together.
Yeah. So Ossie Davis would have been 108 this
Wow.
coming Thursday. He was born in 1917.
1917. He was born in 1917?
Yep. 1973.
Yeah, that's the L train right there. Clackety clack, clackety clack.
Mm.
History of the Negro people. So just off that term right there, you could tell that this is pre-1966. Yeah, Tigers, 1963 champs.
I'm an American, and whether I like it with America and its beautiful ways of life and with its painful.
I remember riding buses like that as a little kid. And then with some noisy ass buses too.
I want an opportunity to move about this country as I choose, as I see fit. I don't want a helping hand. I feel that if I'm allowed freedom of expression, freedom of movement, I won't need any help. I can help myself.
As a Negro, I honestly tried to believe that I was somebody. And I've always fought during my life to keep that feeling that I did have some value. And I say that was night in life when I went to sleep.
Well, I tell you.
Boy, how many motherfuckers get killed in pool halls?
If you are a Negro in this nation, you are catching hell.
Yep.
That's a generalism, you know. It's a generalization. It's too simple. And we haven't begun to scratch the surface. There are just so many built-in ways by which the Negro is disfranchised.
Feel like trash. It's like coming up to him, asking what business he has in the building if the building is a little too nice for him to be in. I mean, no matter how stupid the white, conscious about it, you can't help it, and you feel like punching someone. That's what you can't go through your whole life feel like you want to punch everybody out the street.
Well, yeah, Negro, he doesn't know really what he really doesn't have anything to lean on. He doesn't.
Yeah, we keep fading in and out.
Because he's been taken away from good.
Some people, the white feels that you have a television, you have a car, you have this, you live as good. But realize what we do to get these things.
But the day when we become Americans, all Americans, we don't, the day when we don't no longer speak of the Irish, the Italians, the Jewish, the Negro, etc. That we only, and when that comes, I think truly America will be a great nation, and that the equality for all Americans will be a reality.
It's not a reality, Miss Ruby D. All much love and respect to you, honey, but it didn't happen. Now it's the time for self-sufficiency. It didn't work. I remember Job Code.
There has been a real change in the self-image of the Negro in the past 5 years. It's a remarkable thing. It's a very encouraging sign. It's sort of a tenuous thing. But there was a realization that our people would make a more positive contribution to world culture, take a much more active part and voice in how things are going to be politically, socially, economic. And this has reflected in the life of the country. There's that things will be better. They will be able to. The Negro, in the way though, he's in part cynical. He's seen that, sits back and sees and asks himself, how long will this last? He has lived through too many of these developments to ever put his final hope in these things.
1963 Chevy Impala.
It's sort of an inner well of strength that makes him, over the centuries, to be able to look at these things philosophically and say, well, we hope it's going to last, but if it doesn't, we have known hard times.
Is the real revolution that's taking place in this country today. It is the image of the Negro has of himself today. This is the revolution, sort of in the sense that this is the image that the Negro now has of himself, that he does have roots, that his beginnings didn't begin, it didn't begin in some master's plantation in Fork Knuckles, Georgia, or Hang'em Creek, South Carolina. Centuries even before.
I feel the Negro has to learn to respect himself as being a Negro. Then he can be or get involved with what he wants to do. Now, it's necessary for him to accept himself and respect himself, where the society has taught him that he is not a respected part of society. He is not lump in the stomach that he can't possibly, it's difficult for him to digest his food, or difficult for him to create what he wants to create. And so denied his race if he doesn't make some contribution to it.
And I'm producing Alice Childress' new play, Wedding Band, which is why we're all here. I think that's all, and I hope you all like it very much.
That's the only kind of love they want from us. It's wrong to hate. And it's wrong to love. Why? When they mistreat us, who cares? When we mistreat each other, who cares? Why we got to be so good for them?
Turn you, Julia Augustino.
Last night I woke up thinking of all of my people that's been lynched. I dreamed that all the dead black men gathered together in spirit at the foot of my bed. People, though I know they can't do any harm. I wish they could fight back. Oh, that awful silence. The lynched dead men gathered in spirit at the foot of my bed. I got up from my troubled sleep. Who's there? Only the shadows flickering on my wall. Oh, Lou. for what these white people are. If you're not greenly, God save you.
Sport is a good thing for all children. Because that allowing them to cooperate with others and be a loser. Sometimes lose from the thing in the world, be a good. I figure you have to take the bitter to sweet. And when you're being a loser, you know what bitter is, and then you got to go forward to see what the sweetness is.
You are great. Your horizon is limitless. You know, your mind is a wonderful thing. You can do anything in the world. This is the child needs.
Our students in high school and elementary grades can read through a history book and never realize that the Negro has played any part. This is the terrible actual distortion of the history of the United States. We find that the Negro has been part of every phase of our development. He came over with Columbus. The pilot on Columbus ship was Negro. Is something which would help the Negro child in his image as history of the country, but it's as an integral part, special or chosen people unity. He made a positive, productive contribution to the history of the country, every place.
We have, in the last 100 years, been investigating the customs of the white people. None of it really fit into our own tradition. We find that after 300 years of being trained as Europeans or as Western people, after we got our freedom, what should naturally have happened? When you free a man who has had all of his traditions and customs taken away from him, everything that he had before, not one institution do we have to show for all the millions of dollars that have been spent in the 100 years since 1695. We don't have one African institution in this country except this ramshackle Yoruba temple. Shango, god of lightning and thunder. His colors are red and white. Bathala is the father of the gods, and Shango is the king of gods. Shango is a hard ruler. He's a loud ruler. Shango brings problems on himself.
I don't say that we as American Negroes do not have an African heritage, but that's so clouded for us. I mean, us as Negroes, or at least it's clouded to me. I don't know what boat my great-great-great-grandfather came over on. I don't know what section of Africa he came out of. I don't know what tribal language he had. I don't even know what plantation he first hit. So it's difficult for me to really trace back my ancestry that far. And I believe that with the American Negro, we have been striving not so much to retain or to hold on to the glories of the past because we knew of no glories, but to achieve and strive for glories of the future.
You ought to try God sometime. Whatever your problem may be, fix it for you, just like he did for me. Let me tell you what to do. Then why that I don't know what you need. Please, Lord, I will be all right.
And there you heard a very nice group, the Dixie Hummingbird out of Philadelphia. So many of us are living in the kind of lots of rent. Children have nowhere to play, and they're in dangers. Now, get a place for as little as $785 down on a GI mortgage, or even 10% down on a conventional mortgage. I bet you'd jump at it, wouldn't you? Make your move toward living the way you want to live in your own suburbs. Good idea? Good idea.
Oh, 1963 Impala right there.
think I want anything more than almost any other human being would want. I want to have dignity.
Hey, why keep freezing up, Brother Jay?
I don't know. I just can't make that. And knocked around, pushed around, talked around all my life. Some progress.
Yeah, that's them housing projects right there. Hey, Brother Che. Yeah, we have some technical difficulties, man.
Yes, but I don't know if it's a StreamYard or the internet, but it's a good place to wrap it up. All right, so what are your closing thoughts?
Okay, my closing thoughts is, man, is that we got to be self-sufficient on what we're trying to do. Cannot emphasize that there enough. Let's say, and it is very, very interesting, man, to see a lot of news clippings from the 1960s is because a whole lot of them that they've been very, very selective of tearing down. You know what I mean? And I would go so far as to say not so much social media, but the original networks that recorded those.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's because there's a whole lot out of the 1960s that they don't want to show the youth of today, which was, emphasizing on our self-sufficiency, is because all these other groups capitalize off of us. They don't recycle money in the Black community. As soon as Black folks get some money, man, it leaves the community within 10 minutes, man. These other groups, man, they keep their money in their community, man, 5-6 months.
These other groups,
something is wrong.
These actual groups have communities, Shabaki. We don't have that. We gave up all that with integration.
Yeah, with integration. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that is where Muhammad Ali had told, what was that white boy's name in 74? David Frost, where Ali said exactly, quote unquote, he says, well, wait a minute, man, you mean to tell me I can't build my own grocery stores, my own gas stations, man, my own manufacturing plants, because, you all might close. Then what Black folk gonna do? Then David Frost comes with that bullshit about, a colorblind society, and for all practical purposes, Ali told the man that he was full of shit, which he was.
And anybody that comes with that nonsense now is full of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because it did not, cannot, and will not work. It does not work just off the law of mathematics. It don't work, well, as you say, in the interactions of human, what is that there you say, Brother Che? Human activity. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. So therefore, if we're not controlling our own human activity, you see what I'm saying? But not so much as black folk, but as human beings, man, then we'll go for anything.
Yep.
Motherfuckers have us out here on puppet strings that they did. You see what I mean? Messy Jesse, I may be black, I may be poor, but I'm somebody. Motherfucker, unless you got some money and generating some kind of goddamn revenue, man, you ain't shit.
Right.
And I hate to have to put it like that, man, but, you know, we tried this nonsense, you know, to get along with everybody else. What did we get? Nothing. Or as you say, the tethers, the diaspora yassa bosses. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm going to start calling them motherfuckers, the diaspora yassa bosses. You see what I'm saying? We ain't getting nowhere. See, hating on each other over stupid shit.
Yep.
But here come Mighty Whitey and dumpsters and dump mania. Oh man, we're on board with that. Just like them idiots. And yeah, and I'm calling you motherfuckers down there idiots wearing them damn t-shirts talking about niggas for Trump. Man, I wouldn't have been called. Oh, that was a cracker who was behind that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And probably gave them damn fools, man, you know, probably about $5.
Yeah, I do know how it is to have a name attached to nonsense.
Yeah, Messy Jesse, you know what I'm saying? Ray Gun, the break dancer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what was that movie they made, man, in the early 70s? Well, they was breaking, not the early 70s, my bad, the early 80s.
Wild Style.
No, I don't think that was it, but I do know, man, they filmed a scene inside the Los Angeles City Council chambers inside City Hall because I recognized the flooring and the inside.
Beach Street.
Wait a minute. Not Beach Street, break dance, breaking. Oh, it'll come back to me, man. This is what happens when a motherfucker gets old, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it wasn't nothing but a goddamn minstrel show. A modern day minstrel show. You know? And they ain't gonna show us doing nothing positive, you know what I'm saying? You know, just like these idiots here, man, on these keyboards. Man, you know, people got the highest number of rape killing and all that stuff there, man. You know, black on black crime. What about that? Well, that's perpetuated by white supremacy. You see what I mean? That's perpetuated by the Hollywood industry. Oh, yeah. And speaking of Hollywood, yeah, we didn't comment, man, on Rob Reiner and his wife getting killed by his son. You know what I'm saying?
Another white on white crime. That shit ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, exactly. So LAPD booked him on a no-hill bond. He's down there on Boucher Street. You know what I'm saying? I think dude is supposed to be arraigned tomorrow. I think, you know, and you know the arraignment is to see if they got a case against you. Then the indictment is to formally charge you with the case.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to trial to see if you'll be found guilty or innocent. You know what I'm saying? And what have you. So the courts are going to do, and I'm just eager to see what they're going to do with this cat, because this here sounds similar to the, what's that, Eric and Lyle Menendez, where they were denied parole. Gruesome Newsom denied their parole, and rightfully so, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Menendez brothers.
Yeah, they've been in there, man, going on 30 years now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's crazy. Hey, crew, Los Angeles will love you to death, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, Shabaka. So we're gonna wrap it up.
All right, and air date of this episode was December 16th, 2025. We thank all our tuners coming in. Season 11, episode 7 of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced in conjunction with Front Line Blacc News. Keep those cards and letters coming, folks. And for all idiots out there, be sure to put in your hate mail. You know, we really, really appreciate it and whatnot. And then, of course, those who definitely got something positive to input into the platform, you know, please do be more than welcome, you know. And there's never a dull moment here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right on, crew. Yeah, and there's never a dull moment here. Shabaka'S Blacc Experience, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Mr. Jamal, yeah, man. Oh, Mr. Ishmael, yeah, you know, we are. Yeah, we're just wrapping it up, man, but definitely pull up our playback. I think you could pull it up on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And I think you can still leave some comments off on YouTube, okay? And then and we'll see you all for Grand Rising this Friday with Shabaka
episode 8. Yep. So we'll see y'all next time. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to all of our platforms. Frontline Blacc News on YouTube and Facebook. Frontline Blacc News 2 on YouTube. The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook. And Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced on Facebook and Twitter.
And may the ponies lose.
Not happening, Shabaka. We're going all the way to the
May the ponies lose. Hey, let the Shy get back there, win the Super Bowl again. You know, be their first time in over 40 years. 40 years since the Bears won the Super Bowl.
May the Gators continue to be masqueraders and stay in the bottom of the hole of the ship where they belong.
Sir. The Raiders, listen to me, Mark Davis. Get out of town or change your fucking name. You cats are a disgrace to the city of Las Vegas. Silver and Black attack. Shit.
Silver and Joke attack.
Yeah, I liked them better in Oakland. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody wants them, Shabaka. Maybe Montana will take them.
Who?
Montana.
You talking about the state of Montana?
Yep.
That's way out in the middle of nowhere, man.
Yep. Or maybe Utah will take them. Nobody wants them.
Yeah, well, yeah, they probably go up there to Utah, you know, play up there. I think Utah is about, it's 1,000 feet below you all, man, you know.
Yeah.
Out there in that red desert, you know what I'm saying?
We'll see, crew. Y'all gonna have to get past the land.
Okay, yeah, crew. Yeah, I want to see the Bears take it all, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. I want to see the Bears take it all. And go and check football stats. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna have to get by the Lambs first, Shabaka.
Man, you say move the Bears to Gary? Well, that's right across the street from the Shy. How you gonna do that, crew? Gary's in a whole different state and everything. What they gonna go do? Call them the Gary Bears? Come on, crew. Let the Bears stay there in Soldier Field, man. Now, you had some classic world championship fights in Soldier Field.
Yeah.
Yeah, let the Bears stay there in Soldier Field. And then to those out there in Philadelphia, made them birds fly backwards.
Die, eagle, die.
Yeah, you know, made them eagles fly backwards. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know which is older. I don't know if Soldier Field is older than Veterans Stadium. The Giants play in New Jersey. Well, yeah, you got it right there. You're on that there, crew. Yeah, Rutherford, New Jersey. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All righty, crew. I see your reasoning. Makes sense. All right. So I'm going to get out here take my old tired, broke down ass to bed, you know, whatnot. You know, they say old people start taking naps and shit. And just think, folks, I'll be taking a nap and won't be waking up no more soon. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got that appointment, you know, and you will not be late for the appointment.
I'm glad y'all getting along too.
Yeah, it's all good, crew. It's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to it, we are all we got, Black family.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna be
we is all we got.
Get down from there, Omaru. Get down.
Well, show the kitty.
He's all the way over. Yeah.
Oh, up there pouncing on shit, huh? Mm-hmm. And try to get him a scratching post, man, so he won't be tearing up the furniture and carpet. And it's going to take a minute to get him to the scratching post. Here's the best way to get him to the scratching post, man. Get some cat food with some tuna fish in it. Okay. And yeah, right on, crew. And so you start hitting that fish, man, to start scratching on, then you put it together, man, you know, on the scratching post, you know. Yeah, salute, crew. You know, and then this desert gonna be dropping down in temperature shortly because we have 56 degrees. It's clear, believe it or not, it's unseasonably warm here this time of year.
Yeah, it's unseasonably warm here too. I think we hit 70 degrees.
Yeah, okay. See that now out here, that there would be what they would call earthquake weather, Brother Che.
Yeah.
And you guys are not impossible for getting an earthquake, because if they could have a damn earthquake, man, in New Jersey at 4 point something, and I was looking at this shit over the internet. Oh man, the earthquake scared me to death. It was a 4 point. Man, do you know how many of them motherfuckers I don't slept through? Now the one that fuck you up is when that son bitch get to 6.5, 5, 7, 11. You know what I'm saying? After 10, it's all over. That's total devastation.
Right.
Ain't nothing working. And there's some photographs they got of Fairbanks, Alaska from 1964, brother. And all the sidewalks was tore up, the houses, water pipes, all that. And then two people, for those of you who are not in quake zones, if you get hit with a quake, okay, and if that son of a bitch is at 5 or 6 or higher, okay, do not drink no water out the tap. Go out and get you some water, buy some, trade for some, steal some, all that you can get, because it's going to be at least 4 or 5 months before that infrastructure comes back.
Yep.
And stay away from them gas lines, too.
Oh, he's on.
And that's the truth. Okay, Che, I made executive assistant decision. Check out Afro Elite on TikTok after this. Okay, yeah, crew. I no longer do TikTok, man. I got into too many arguments, man, on TikTok. I'm up here arguing with idiots trying to make fun of my name and all this old shit. And I said, man, check this out. So, you know, I gave them some choice words. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, we can't find no pictures of you. We can't find no pictures of you, Shabaka. Check out the LA County Jail. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing I'm proud of. You know, fuck TikTok. You know, tell the executives director I said it. He can bring his ass up on our platform. I'll argue and debate the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
He Chinese, Shabaka. And people was making a killing on TikTok, so I wouldn't say all that.
I know, big time. But the thing is, though, about TikTok, Brother Che, that I checked out, right? Man, they want everything from you. Driver's license, social security number, and they want your bank account information. And that's what turned me off.
Yeah.
They don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? All right, so the brother, you know, who had the situation there with the white fella, you know, on Amazon, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully he gets broke off, and hopefully he'll sue the draws off of them and put them WYTs out there in a cardboard box on the side of the expressway, that they call them in the Shy Expressway, highway, freeway, they call them out here in the West, and put him out there saying that he'll work for food.
Yep.
And have him clean up your house, have him clean up your bathtub, wash out your toilet bowl, and get that sucker a tuna fish sandwich, man, and kick him in the ass and tell him to go on his way. Now, why do I say that? You're going to sit up there and hold up a sign saying you will work for food? You get up there and say you'll work for money, being reasonable. You know what I'm saying? But I'll work for food? You know what kind of goddamn train like I said, Brother Che? And as a matter of fact, Brother Che, write that down, man. That's going to be the name of a future episode. Work for food. You know what I'm saying? And I got a whole lot to say on that one right there.
All right, Shabaka.
All right, Che. Okay, I'll be sending people over here. All right, I'm speaking about Che in real life to my family and friends. Okay. All right, crew.
Thank you.
Whatever, just stay warm back there, man, because I know y'all getting hit with that ice, man. And crew, there ain't no water pipes freezing up or anything like that as of yet, is it?
I don't know. Probably.
Okay, see.
He said his brakes broke.
Oh, man.
He said his brakes broke up the other day. But all right, y'all. We're gonna wrap
on his car.
Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, season 11.
We out.
7 Friday for Grand Rising. We'll see y'all then. Peace.
Yeah, always.
Go Broncos.